So after discussing the categories of verbs and the semantic classification, and we have the syntactic classification and the semantic classification of verbs into, say what, according to the meaning of the verb, we have classified the verb into stative and dynamic. Again, I have what is called categories of adverbials. Next, we may take a preliminary look at adverbials concerning ourselves, only with such distinction as were necessary to explain some of the chief restrictions in constructing the simplest sentences. We may begin by looking again to a sentence with two adverbials. Look at this one. طبعا this sentence it contains two adverbials. The first one now, the second one at a large university. This might have had fewer elements. طبعا the first one, the girl is a student at a large university. هنا حذفنا now, adverb of time. Then the girl is a student. فقط SVC يعني ويس complement without any adverbial. The girl is now student. Here now without the adverb of a place. But the girl is the girl is at a large university. The girl is at a large university. Here again SVA. هذه ال A, it is adverb of a place. But I cannot have the girls now. Here A, طبعا تشوفون إذا ننتبه هنا in now and at a large university, both of them are optional. نقدر نحذفهم. Here in this one, a student at a large university, I can omit this adverbial. أقدر أقول the girl is a student وأحذف الadverbial ما يأثر على الجملة. هنا نفس الحالة أقدر أحذف now without any affecting to the sentence. But look at this one. Here, this adverbial is obligatory. This adverbial is obligatory one. Okay? Adverbial obligatory one, because if I want to omit it, this will not be a complete sentence. On this evidence, we may say that the adverbials now at a large university belong to different classes, and it seems natural to label them time and place respectively. يعني general speaking نحن نعرف التايم adverbial ولا place adverbial وعندنا البروسيس اللي هو المانر adverbial. نرجع لهذه جملتنا. John searched the room carefully اللي هي بيها ال ly adverbial اللي ly adverbial اللي هو نفس البروسيس or manner. Why process? Why manner? Because it describes how the verb is done. يعني هي it has a close relation to how the verb is done or how the verb is happened in the sentence. يعني هنا من أقول search carefully. Here I describe the process of searching as it is carefully, slowly يعني ده أصف ال searching, noisily, serenely, without delay. هذه كلها they are what adverbs for describing the process of searching here. لكن look at this one. Can I admit or can I apply these adverbs to such verb? The girl is. اتفقنا إنه هي stative. No action, no activity. عندي النيو هم قلنا stative ما يقبل ing. Okay, هو mental verb. But my question, why it is ungrammatical to add such kind of adverbs here? We have said they are stative. But look, carefully, slowly, noisily, sternly, there is some sort of description. Description for what? For an action. يعني they have to what? Describe dynamic verb. كل البروسيس كل المانر adverb should describe dynamic or should be present with dynamic verb, not with the stative verb. لما هذه يردون يوصفون ال is ال be verb, there is no action to be described. How I can describe be verb as careful? The same with the new. So why this sentence is ungrammatical? Because the verb is stative and carefully such type of adverbial it should be with dynamic verb. Now ما يصير عندي stative verb with dynamic adverb. No stative verb with dynamic adverb. Okay, this is the process. تشوفون هسه عندي dynamic verb with dynamic adverb. ما عندي مشكلة تماما. They are completely acceptable. But here I have stative verb with dynamic adverb. It is what? Unacceptable at all. But I have an exception. طبعا راح نشوفها بعدين. It is clear that we again have a subclass of adverbials because the verb with which they can occur allow the progressive, the aspect of ongoing activity. It is appropriate to refer to this adverbial as a process. يعني أكثر الأحيان the process adverbial, the adverb that what in most cases with ly and they denote a description for the verb in the sentence itself. So again, according to the category of verb قسمنا الverb to intensive or extensive and intransitive. بعدين قسمنا الverb to stative and dynamic. Then we classify them into what? The adverbial to what? وحدة تقبل stative وحدة ما تقبل and something like that. So according to this classification or to this category of verb, we should have a look about types of sentence structure. Types of sentence structure. But it is important to say or to read this one, please, or this paragraph. Bringing together the distinctions so far met, we can present some basic sentence structure rules diagrammatically. Which distinction? شرحنا على الدايركت والindirect object، شرحنا على الانتنسيف والاكستنسيف والtransitive، شرحنا على الديناميك والstative. So they are all mentioned. Each line constitutes a pattern which is illustrated by means of correspondingly numbered example having just those obligatory and optional parentheses elements that are specified in the formula. The order in which the elements appear in command but by no means fixed. This is a principle of sentence organization. What is contextually familiar to given comes relatively earlier. نيجي هسه انتبهوا عليه. هذا general types or general structure. انتبهوا عليه. Subject, هذا subject should be with a verb stative or with a verb and should be followed by a stative verb or a dynamic verb. Okay, هذا general. If the verb is stative, it can have the structure can be intensive or extensive transitive. يعني هو احنا قلنا transitive extensive. In the case of intensive stative verb, intensive, there is a complement. There is what? A complement, subject complement. It can be obligatory adverbial of a place or subject complement. خلينا نشوف المثال الأول. She is a subject. S is a stative verb. Be verb. In London here, it is an adverbial of a place and it is obligatory. يعني هذه SVA هذه obligatory one. هذه between two brackets parentheses, it is what's optional. They can be omitted. Which kind of verb here? It is intensive stative. No action معناها. The second case. She is a student. She is a student. She subject is verb. A student subject complements. Here the is here, it is intensive stative. No action. There is a subject complement. John heard the explosion. John heard the explosion. John subject heard is the stative verb اللي هو مبتدأ من المنتل طبعا. Stative verb and I have the explosion. It is the direct object ولهذا سموه monotransitive verb. Monotransitive verb لأن أكو verb أكو object واحد. monotransitive. لكن هنا شنو الفرق؟ إنه الverb is stative not dynamic اللي هو بأغلب الحالات المفروض dynamic. طبعا هذه كل شيء between two brackets معناها it is optional can be omitted. الحالة الثانية تابعوا علي اللي هو حالة الدايناميك. It can be intensive dynamic. Intensive dynamic verb when تابعوا universities became famous. طبعا خلوا ببالكم الفعل became هو linking verb copula verb لكن it is dynamic. Why dynamic? Because there is some change in condition. كانت مو famous بعدين صارت famous for example. So the verb became, it is dynamic but it is intensive لأن عندي famous subject complements. They ate the meat. They subject and ate verb dynamic monotransitive verb وعندي what the meat it is direct object. He offered her some chocolates. He offered it called diatransitive dynamic verb. Okay. عندي هذا الدايركت indirect object وهذه الدايركت object. They elected him chairman. They subject elected dynamic complex transitive verb. Him direct object and chairman it is what? It is the object complements. طبعا why it is هنا mono transitive because I have one object. Why I here it is dia because I have two objects, direct and indirect. Why it is complex because I have what? I have an object, direct object plus object complements. The last one اللي هو intransitive الفعل اللازم in which there is no object, no complements. So this is our preparation for next Thursday by God's will. We are going to stop at this point, but please try to have a look about what your preparation because something somehow complicated at the beginning only. Yes, thank you for your patience and for